What's going on, guys? Again, my name is Dylan. I'm a gun fanatic, pro 2A. I like to do reviews on the internet of the things I spend my money on because if you're like me, you spend your money on things, it's a good amount of money. You want to make sure you're getting the right thing, so you might scour the internet reading reviews before you make a purchase. So today I'm going to talk about two different gun lights that I currently use and run every day on my everyday carries. I became a huge fan of carrying a gun light for the various reasons that it's just a good tool to have on your tool belt. By tool belt, I mean on your firearm. So today I'm going to talk about your Olight PL-mini2 and your Inforce APLc. I've been carrying a Glock 19 Gen 5 and a SIG X Compact as my everyday carry lately. Mainly because it's wintertime, I wear a hoodie. They're bigger guns, and I like carrying them. During the summer, with my frail body, not to imprint, I usually carry a 365 or a Glock 43. But I'm going to talk about these two lights that I put on my X Compact and my 19. I'm going to start off with my Glock 19 here, and the Inforce APLc that I do run on it. This was the first gun light I've ever purchased, and I fell in love with it just because I like how sleek it looks and how good it fits this Glock 19. Obviously, it's kind of made for it. The Glock model here, where it fits onto that 19 rail, it sits flush here with the barrel in the front end of the gun. Goes right back to the trigger guard. What I like about this gun or this light is the activation of it. Just how easy. There's two paddles. It's completely ambidextrous. For left-handed, right-handed shooters, it's so simple to activate. It sits in a natural spot right off the trigger well here, where I use my trigger finger to activate my lights, and it's like a natural transition, and it's in such a good spot. Your Inforce APLc is going to be a 200 lumen, compared to this Olight, the PL-mini2 I just got, which is a 600 lumen. I'm not too big on the lumens. I don't care if one's brighter than the other. From everything I can tell, and I know that a dark room, you run this 200 lumen light, it's more than enough to light up the room and where you're looking at. So I have no issue between a 200 lumen or a 600 lumen, or so be it. Your APLc is battery operated. I believe it's a CR2 battery here that you run on it. So you got to screw for quite a minute, and bam, bam, you pull it out here. Yeah, it's a little CR2, just Duracell battery that sits right in there. This light isn't overly heavy. You don't notice it when you throw your gun up. It's not straining by any means. It's a light, light, boom. So again, super sleek. I like the way it fits in my trigger well here. Stays flush with the front of the gun. My favorite thing about this gun is the activation and the paddles. If you ever played with the Inforce, you'll know that the activation of this light is stupid good. So to get it on, it is a little flathead screw. This goes into your Glock rail there. Screw slides through, tightens. Once it gets on, like, this thing has no movement and at all. It sits flush. It sits still. It doesn't move. There's no play. So moving on from that into the Olight PL-mini2. Sorry about that, guys. That I have on my X Compact here. So looking at this thing, it sits super well. I like how it's flush with the bottom here on the bottom of my trigger guard. I like how it sits kind of flush here on the front of the gun. Like, it just fills the space extremely nicely. My grammar, guys. Bear with me here. I'm tired and it's been a long day, but we're gonna power through this video because I'm bored and I want to do it. The detach on this, like, it is literally a second. Like, this thing comes off super fast. If I want to take my APLc off, I have to have a flat head with me and screw for a little bit, but this thing pops on, pops off. There's a little retention lever here. Once it's on, it is on there good. It's tight. There's no movement. There's no play. Another cool thing that I like about this is this front rail is completely adjustable. So you saw the light just slide off that, so you can play with that. You can move it wherever you want to move it, however you want to move it to fit any gun that you want to throw this bad boy on. So it's a super cool feature that Olight did, the adjustability of this light. So slide it all the way back. Like I said, on my APLc, this thing sits super flush with my trigger well here on the front too. So it's very natural to activate it. I like my APLc activation a little better. So this has the two little toggle switches. So again, ambidextrous. You just push down on those. They're a lot smaller than the large paddles on the APLc. So they're not necessarily hard to find. They're just harder to find than my APLc. APLc you kind of slap in for it to activate. This you got to push down. So that's different. It's a different transition. So that's the one spot the APLc I think has Olight beat is just the activation on this light. Obviously a smaller, sleeker light. So for what it is, this is still a great activation. Ambidextrous, 600 lumens. I can even tell like when I activate this light on my camera, like it's brighter, which there's nothing wrong about that. I know through my career in law enforcement, I carry two different flashlights on me. One is a 400 lumen, one's a 1,000. My 1,000 lumen, working nighttime, going to shine into a car. If I hit that light on a window that's rolled up, it kind of reflects back because it's so bright and it blinds me. So I don't think there's anything wrong with a lower lumen. Just there's pros and cons like there is in everything else in life. So throwing them up kind of side by side here. APLc, Olight, they both look extremely pretty on these guns. APLc, you got to screw it on. Once it's on, it's on. The Olight has that retention toggle switch that pops this thing off in a second. It's extremely adjustable and customizable to your gun. 600 lumens on the Olight, 200 on the APLc. Weight-wise, they're stupid light, guys. Like you throw these up and you can't tell they're on the front of the gun just because it doesn't pull it down. Nothing like that. So I highly recommend both of these. My APLc is not going anywhere. It's going to stay on that Glock until I die because I love that light. This Olight being brand new, I'm smitten by it. It is super, super cool. The Olight does have a chargeable battery, which pros and cons of that. Super easy, magnetic. You slap this on, plug it in, and it starts charging, which is awesome. My worries are if you're anything like me, I lose every charging cable I get. So if I lose this, I'm guessing I have to order it online. It's probably going to be expensive and take some time to come in because I can't run down to my local store and buy one. But it is what it is. I'll try not to lose it. Another thing I like my APLc, I can carry a spare battery with me. If it starts to get low or anything like that, I can swap it out and it's good to go. If I'm out and about and I don't have like a charging cable with me, charging battery pack to carry with me, this thing goes down, I don't know how I'm going to get it charged again, especially if I'm out hiking out in the hills or anything like that for a few days. So pros and cons to both. I say pros and cons a lot, guys. I'm sorry about that. But if you have any questions, comment, message me, let me know. I do talk about holsters a lot. I'm a big advocate about getting the right holster. LAS makes the majority of my holsters. This is the one I had custom made for my Glock here with my APLc. It sits well. It's not bulky by any means. It's a pretty holster. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I like the way it carries. LAS doesn't make a holster for the X Compact and Olight yet, so I had to cheat on LAS, and I'm having a holster made right now by Odin Holsters. I have another holster from Odin too that I really like, actually for the same setup. So spend the money on a good holster. So find the right light. Once you find the right light, find the right holster company. Pay the extra money for a good holster to fit your gun and your light. Beyond that, guys, I have nothing for you. I'll talk to you here soon.